The chill of December 31, 2011, hung heavy in the air over Donlai Village, Xuchang City, Hunan Province. It was the eve of a new year, a time for joyous anticipation, but for one family, it would become a night of unspeakable horror. This peaceful village was about to be stained by a brutal massacre, claiming the lives of an entire family of 4, including 2 innocent children. What dark currents of hatred could have driven such a heinous act? That fateful afternoon, as dusk began to settle, 2 neighbors, uneasy by the unusual silence, approached the home of Tran I-Can. Their knocking echoed unanswered, their repeated calls met only by an eerie quiet. This was deeply unsettling, for Can's home was rarely empty, and when it was, the door was always secured. Yet, on this day, the door stood ajar. A gentle push, and they stepped into the courtyard, their eyes immediately drawn to a ghastly sight, a large pool of blood. As they cautiously moved further, a chilling discovery awaited them in the living room, 2 motionless bodies. A man and a woman, both sprawled amidst a crimson tide on the floor. Terror seizing them, they fled, their screams tearing through the stillness of the village. There are dead people in Tran I-Can's house. Their cries for help roused the villagers, who rushed to the scene, and soon, the police were alerted. The crime scene was a tableau of horror. In the living room, investigators confirmed the 2 bodies, identified as Tran I-Can, the 31-year-old homeowner, and 40-year-old Feng Hien Vai, a distant cousin. Both bore multiple severe wounds to their heads, chests, and backs. A deeper search of the house revealed 2 more victims in the bedroom, Can's 10-year-old daughter and 7-year-old son, both murdered in their beds. Miraculously, Can's eldest daughter, away at boarding school, had been spared this nightmare. Initial forensic examination determined that all victims had perished in the early hours of December 31. Neighbors painted a picture of Tran I-Can as a divorced single mother, raising her 3 children alone. She was known for her open, friendly demeanor, well-liked by everyone in the community. Her home was often a gathering place for neighbors to play cards during their free time. Feng Hien Vai, her distant cousin, also resided in Donlai Village, but his presence at Can's home in the dead of night remained a perplexing mystery. The autopsies unveiled even more gruesome details. Tran I-Can's body bore a staggering 21 wounds, the fatal blow a deep stab to her left chest, piercing her heart. Other injuries were concentrated on her neck, head, arms, and face. She wore a 2-piece nightgown, devoid of underwear, the fabric almost entirely crimson with blood. Most disturbingly, Can's intimate area showed 2 severe wounds, inflicted after her death. The discovery of semen in her vagina led police to hypothesize a crime of passion. Feng Hien Vai, found nearby, had suffered a similar fate. He had 17 wounds, primarily to his chest and abdomen, with the fatal injury also to his left chest. Even more bizarrely, Vai's face was covered by a pair of women's underwear, which police believed belonged to Can. On the underwear, bloodied fingerprints were found, strongly suspected to be those of the killer. As police delved into the victims' relationships, a crucial piece of information emerged. Just days before the murders, Feng Hien Vai had been involved in an altercation with a 40-year-old man named Lu Vanan, originally from Heilongjiang province. Surveillance footage from the Xuchang bus station revealed and had departed the city after the crime, instantly making him the prime suspect. The hunt for Lu Vanan began. 3 days after the brutal killings, he was apprehended in Changchun City, Jilin Province, where he had been in hiding. He was immediately brought to the police station for interrogation. There, in the stark light of the interrogation room, he confessed to his monstrous acts. His motive, he claimed, was born of deep-seated hatred, and recounted a period of blissful happiness with Can, a joy that dissolved with Vai's appearance. A life of hardship had forced him to leave school after elementary grades to help his family with farming. Poverty led him down a dark path, resorting to illicit means for money. From 2006 to 2008, and was imprisoned twice for theft. In February 2011, shortly after his release, friends introduced him to Can, a single mother raising 3 young children, and was smitten by Can from their first meeting, yet he hesitated, burdened by the 10-year age gap and his criminal past. However, Can's frequent initial messages fostered a growing intimacy between them. They spoke almost constantly, from morning till night. Once their relationship blossomed, and brought Can to his hometown in Heilongjiang to live with him, while her 3 children remained in Xuchang, attending boarding school, under the care of her distant cousin, Feng Hien Vai. And yearned to marry Can, willing to sacrifice everything for her well-being. He rented farmland at a low price to pay for her children's tuition and toiled in demanding construction work. Despite his efforts, his sister cautioned him to be wary, fearing he might be deceived, but steadfastly believed in the sincerity of their love. The turning point arrived when Can received a call from her daughter's teacher, reporting behavioral issues at school and emphasizing the need for parental guidance. Seeing Can's distress, and suggested bringing all 3 children to live with them, uniting the family. He escorted Can back to Xuchang, sending 4,000 yuan to his sister to manage their affairs. In Xuchang, an invited cousin Vai to dinner, expressing gratitude for his help with the children. Yet, during the meal, An noticed Vai's overly familiar gestures towards Can, a pat on the shoulder, a touch on the back, and even following her to the restroom. Suspicious, An confronted Can, but she assured him their relationship was merely that of normal cousins. The following day, the family returned to Heilongjiang, and went to great lengths to enroll the 3 children in schools there. One evening, as An lay beside her, Can received a call from Vai. An overheard sobbing through the phone but couldn't decipher the conversation's content. After the call, Can silently wept, and the next morning, she confessed to being romantically involved with Vai. She proposed a breakup, offering to reimburse An's expenses if she chose Vai, or to return to a peaceful life with An if he was her choice. Still deeply in love, An reluctantly agreed to Can's proposal. However, he soon discovered she was living with Vai and had secretly taken the 3 children without a word. A month later, Can called again, demanding money for tuition and rent. When An questioned her, Can explained that she hadn't broken up with Vai but wanted to try living in Xuchang to help her children adjust to a new environment. Desperate to salvage their relationship, An brought 30,000 yuan and moved in with Can at her rented home. He poured all his savings into mushroom cultivation, hoping to provide for her children. While An toiled tirelessly, Can became engrossed in playing cards, leading to frequent arguments. Before long, Can brought 3 men, led by Vai, to threaten An and force him out of the house. She brazenly declared An was merely her mushroom farming laborer, infuriating him and driving him away. Once he had calmed down, and returned to the rented house, only to find Vai and Can sharing a meal. To taunt An, Vai even demanded Can call him husband right in front of An. In an uncontrollable fit of rage, An rushed into the kitchen, grabbed a knife, and chased after Vai. Terrified, Vai fled to a friend's house to hide. And then told Can she had 10 days to bring the children back to Heilongjiang or repay 60,000 yuan plus interest. The next day, Can called, persuading An to return and live together as before. However, after only a week, An noticed Can returning home very late, fueling his suspicion that she was secretly meeting Vai. Following a heated argument, Can summoned 6 or 7 people to drag An out of the rented house. An, utterly broken, asked Can, "How do you want me to live? I can't go back to my hometown, and here you're kicking me out." Can's cold reply echoed in his ears, "If you leave here and never appear again, you'll be safe and sound." Stripped of everything, An's mind festered with thoughts of revenge. He bought 2 knives and staked out Can's rented house, waiting for the opportune moment. Around 1 a.m. on December 31, 2011, seeing Can's light still on, and scaled the wall into the courtyard and approached the window to eavesdrop. There, he heard Vias' voice say, "New Year is coming soon, call Lou Vannon and see if there's any way to extract more money from him." These words ignited a furious inferno within him. He stormed into the living room and attacked both Vi and Can. Can's 7-year-old son awoke to the commotion and witnessed the horrific scene, and led the child to lie with his sister. Initially, he intended to spare the children, but fearing they would cry for help, he ultimately took their lives to silence them. On April 24, 2013, Lou Vannon was sentenced to death for intentional homicide. The sentence was carried out on October 29, 2014. This tragic case lays bare the psychology of a person pushed to the brink by the agonizing conflict between love and hate, and had repeatedly forgiven, only yearning to remain by Can's side, but she had used him as a mere ATM. Once and ceased to be useful, can heartlessly cast him out of her life without a shred of remorse. The momentary loss of control and overwhelming anger ultimately led him to orchestrate his own tragic demise. Anne's life ended in such a lamentable manner. In that moment of unrestrained fury, he failed to control himself, leading to unforeseeable consequences. If you were to find yourselves in a similar predicament, how would you choose to act? Share your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. If you found this case compelling and thought-provoking, please show your support by liking this video, subscribing to our channel, and turning on notifications so you don't miss any future uploads. Thank you for watching this video in its entirety.